So do you have voicemail set up on your phone when people call you?
I have a message on my phone, but there is, and that's my message to whoever's calling. I do not have the capability for someone to leave and record a message on my phone. And this was, I did this a couple years ago now. My son had a baseball game, and when my son has a game, I'm focused, or either one of my kids have any kind of athletic event, I'm focused on them. That's my time with them. And so I'll turn my phone off. And I was at one of his games, and the phone was ringing off the hook. And you know, it's an hour and a half, 2 hours on a Saturday, and the phone was just ringing off the hook. And I got 11 voicemail messages. So my son had a good game. He wanted to go out and celebrate with some ice cream at the little ice cream parlor, S&T's here. And I said, yeah, that's fine. I said, let me get back to the office so I can listen to all the messages in a quiet area and write them all down. It's very difficult because for whatever reason, someone will call and say, hey, Eric, this is John Smith. I'm interested in the 100 acres on Bear Creek Road, and my number is 336-445, and they do the number really fast. And so you have to listen to it several times or whatever. So I had a dozen or so messages. I had to listen to some of them 2 or 3 times, and it took me 40 minutes to listen to all the messages and write down all the information. And some people needed immediate attention. I had to call them back right there. But so that was it was 40 minutes of listening to voicemail. And when I got done, I said, all right, let's go get some ice cream. He's like, yeah, I'm not in the mood now. And so that was very disappointing. I had disappointed him and everything. And so I had read an article about some people that were cutting off their voicemail. And I always want to do a good job for my clients, but I have to have a life as well. And so I went ahead and left a message that says, you know, during business hours, they can call the office, and I pay for administrative help, so they can call and talk to a live, warm body if I'm not able to answer the phone. And they can get all the information that they need, and my assistants can write down their information. I only do that if I'm with another client. So if I'm with another client, or if I'm with my kids, or if I'm otherwise occupied, if I don't have the ability to answer the phone, I don't answer the phone. If I'm between appointments and driving around or whatever, I will answer the phone and I will speak to them. It's not like I never answer the phone, but if I'm with other clients, I don't answer the phone because I think that's disrespectful and rude to whoever I'm with to, you know, say, oh, you're not important, I have to take this call right now. So my voicemail directs them to call my office during business hours, and my staff is very competent, and we have all the information on Dropbox, and they're usually just asking for some kind of disclosure, some kind of document, or they're just asking about a price or whatnot. And so my staff definitely has that information readily available and can send that to them. So that has saved my time and enabled me to focus on doing a better job in other areas. During non-business hours, and it's really, I mean, I'm surprised at the hours people will call. I mean, I often get calls at 6:30, 7:30 in the morning, which I don't think is appropriate. And I get calls at 10, 11 o'clock at night, which I really don't think is appropriate either. But if somebody's calling outrageously outside of what I consider normal business hours, my message then says, you can text me. And so I don't have staff working at 11 o'clock at night, but my voicemail changes and says, you can't leave me a message, but if it's important, go ahead and text me. So admittedly, you know, there's in the 3 years or so that I've done this, there have been 4 or 5 70 to 80-year-old people that don't like this situation because they're not texters or whatever. But really, you know, most of us have adopted this technology, and texting used to be a very intimate thing that you only did with the closest of friends, whatever, but everybody texts now. It's so commonplace. And one of the beautiful things about having someone text me is like, now I have their number. and I don't have to like yes it 4 or 5 times over. Some of the times, with the clients, they really don't want to talk to me and be engaged in a conversation. They just want a quick answer. What's the price of this 20 acres? Or would this seller do owner finance or whatever? And they just want a quick answer and everything. And so I'm able to give them good information. One of the amazing things I have with our system, I have all of our listings packed with Dropbox files. And so you can say to me, hey, Eric, can you send me the survey of this property? And I can go into Dropbox and I can send them a link to that survey. Like it's a copy paste, click, click, click. And I don't mind doing that at 10 or 11 o'clock at night. And so those people feel very, very taken care of, that they're getting immediate attention and having all that information to them or whatever. But I work between 60 and 70 hours a week. I have 2 young children that are involved in sports. I have a social life. It's very important for me to go to the gym in the mornings. I work out 5 to 6 days. And so there's just certain times that I set aside for myself, and I'm allowed to set time aside for myself. I'm not a 24/7 agent. I'm a 60 to 70 hour a week agent, and I think that's plenty of time, whatever. But I'm not a 24/7 agent, and so it has been healthy for me mentally to set aside time that is just for me, that I'm not engaged in real estate and I'm not distracted from my family or friends, and it's just been a way of me to communicate with my clientele. And really, I think I've probably had dozens of attorneys and doctors that have discovered what I've done when they call me, and like, that's like the best thing ever. I'm going to do it now. And so I really feel as though, there's this expectation of 24/7 access, and I think that in all aspects of life, you have to be able to protect yourself from that 24/7 access. And my business has not dropped at all in the last few years. If anything, it's grown significantly. So I don't think I'm offending the vast majority of the people. I think most people respect that you're busy, and the fact that I have staff that's able to respond immediately, I think is one of the things that allows me to not listen to voicemails for 40, 50 minutes.